And there's a ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get this started. Oh, but he hangs a J, and that's going to do it. He's done. Calibration on line count. We'll just double in. 838, and he hangs a bar in column 8. And that's going to be it. Andy is good for game number 2. Oh, my God. Oh, the hang. And that's going to do it. Andy.
Yep. SV is ready. So we have a ready from both players. And we are going to count this down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And the Super Show is underway for this Sunday afternoon. 3 matches on tap for your viewing pleasure. And as is usual on a Toast stream, we love to get to know the players. And we will do that as Portal has a T-spin set up. I am looking to see. There is the T. There is the missed the T-spin. And we're already starting with the 20-plus piece drought. Lord Drop's going to have to wait. A drought incoming. That was over 20 pieces, about a 22-piecer. And for now, the drought has subsided. But going to get to know Portal a little bit. I've got a couple tidbits of info for him. Basically, Portal wants you to know that he's competed in CTM and CTL. Now, outside of Tetris, Portal is into CS2 and just finished Dead Space. Now, here's how old I am. I mean, I know CS2, Counter-Strike. Back when I was in college, we were playing the original Counter-Strike when it was just becoming a thing. And not only that, but we played at LAN parties. I don't know if the Gen Z crew knows what LAN parties are. I'm guessing y'all do. But that's what we had to do because reliable, fast internet was not a thing. So we'd all bring our computers over to somebody's house, hook them all up. For us, it was usually in one of our basements, and we would just basically play games all night. Counter-Strike, the old Medal of Honor, you name it. That was what we did. Now, we are a third of the way to transition. SV sitting at about a 510k pace as both players get a simultris, and Portal is on the same pace. So we are neck and neck. So yeah, just to wrap up that little bit about the good old days of LAN parties, that's what we did. We'd play games. I usually ended up being the one responsible for making food for the group, which is kind of ironic because I'm not a fan of cooking personally. I'm a fan of eating, but not a fan of making food. But I was usually the one doing all of the food prep for the LAN parties. But 'twas a good time, and I still hang out with those folks. So you make some good friends playing games online, as you've all learned. Anyway, SV with a little bit of burning to do. He is almost halfway to transition, as is Portal with a hey now on the Tetris rate. And now we are halfway. Hey now on the scoreboard for Sam. The hey now counter is rising. Shoutouts to Omen. And Sam Vaughn looking at about a 540k transition, and Portal at the halfway point was at about a 580k. So Portal looking to expand on this lead as SV is doing some more burning here. Sets up the long bar dependency, but it's not going to get a Tetris. All right. And actual score count right here. SV sitting at 288,000. Portal, of course, I give a score update. Portal gets a Tetris, 363k, and another one, 386k. Shoutouts to DJ Khaled getting another one. And this lead is now sitting at over 4 Tetrises, 5 Tetrises, as Portal's just throwing them down. 313k for SV, 431k for Portal. As we're coming up to 100 lines, we'll update that pace once again when we get there. And there is SV getting to the turn first, looking at about a 460k transition pace right now. Portal, not quite there, but will be with this Tetris and looking at a 580,000 transition pace heading towards level 19. Both players on that collision course for the transition. And looking to do everything they can to get Tetrises before we make that switch. And the speeds get 50% faster. Now, as you may have inferred from the earlier messages in the chat, in Division 1 matches, players do have the option of choosing between a level 18 or a level 19 start. They also can choose if they want to increment the seed after every match or if they want to re-roll for everyone. And in this one, both players appear to have chosen level 18 and re-rolling for every match, or every game. So we'll get a new seed at the start of each individual game. 570k exactly for Portal, 478k for SV. SV's got one more Tetris before level 19. Portal, with that one, will have 2 more Tetrises in hand that could be had before the transition. But of course, that all depends on how much or how little both players end up burning. And SV transitions 525,000. Portal transitions at 641,000. A great pace in this first game of the series. And yet another one. Both players doing pretty good, although as mentioned, Portal is in... I don't want to call it a decisively because there's a lot of game left, but it is sizable. It's over 100,000, but nothing that can't be overcome by players of this caliber that you're seeing in Division 1. And another hey now on the board is Portal at 694,000 to 607,000 for SV. And now the Tetrises are raining down on both sides of the board. And now that we're on the level 19 speed, we get a simul Tetris, and B, we can also start to figure out where these players sit in terms of pace to kill screen. Are they on max out pace is the question everyone wants to know, and in a handful of lines, I'll be able to give you an answer because they're coming up to a pace marker. And SV has made it, and SV is just below max out pace, probably looking at about a 990,000 into kill screen at his current pace, and Portal probably looking at about a 1.09 million kill screen pace based on the numbers I am showing on screen. So we've got a max out pace and an almost max out pace, but that is heading into level 29. These players, very kill screen capable, could get max outs in kill screen play. But this game has gotten a lot closer as I've yapped about paces. 862k for SV, 902,000 for Portal. And again, that's based on math in my head, Pines Cutely. So my math may be slightly off. I was trying to do math in my head based on what I saw on the screen. And I'm doing that based on score and line count and scoring potential as opposed to straight Tetris rate. So mileage may vary. But we do have a max out on Portal side of the screen. Shake your cowbells, 1.008 million. And you know what? You're absolutely right. The math was not mathing on my end. I was looking one row down, and my numbers were absolutely off. So, yeah, absolutely max out pace, because both players do have the max out. So, I see what I did wrong. We will fix it next time around. But another hey now. We're up to like 4 hey nows already. I'm sure Kingsman is absolutely loving it. 1.1 million for SV, 1.145 for Portal, who gets another Tetris, and we aren't even to kill screen yet. SV has one more Tetris to give, as does Portal, and SV transitions to kill screen, 1.176 million and 1.2 million for Portal. We are on to level 29. And at this speed, we are about 3 times faster than what you saw at the start of the game at level 18 speed. And SV has taken the lead, and Portal has hung the long bars on the left, just a stack of long bars in column 2. He can't do anything about it. Portal tops out. SV comes from behind, takes game 1, and GG's. What a match. We'll give SV that first heart of the game as SV is continuing to go. Waiting for that long bar for the column 4 Tetris. We'll see if he throws it down. And this is a 32-piece drought and counting on kill screen. And SV is surviving, still going. 46 pieces on kill screen. Are you freaking kidding me? 54. What is the longest drought in CTL history? This might be it. 63 pieces. 66-piece drought. Is that what I saw? 66 pieces? Holy crap. And SV just getting it like it's nothing. Up to 1.471 million on level 35. And close to the rollover. We are at about 30 lines away from the double kill screen as we now on to level 26. Probably about 1 Tetris away from the rollover. Let's see if he gets it. Please no 66-piece drought again, or 65 or whatever that number was. And rollover for SV, still going. Let's see what he can get for level 39. Could we get a 1.7, maybe a 1.8? You'll have to wait to find out as we're 10 lines away. Board's getting a little dicey, but SV can still get some points, but that's going to do it. 1.67 million to 1 Tetris. And now the question is, how the heck do you follow up a game like that? A rollover, drought survival, max out, kill screen, all the allure. What could happen? You'll have to stick around to find out. But while we're waiting, I did mention that these two have met before, so we'll pull up their head-to-head information. And as you saw previously, SV has Portal's number 3-0 all-time in the series. And, much to the delight of Kingsman, Omen, and me, their record is a hey now. Or a one yeah, depending on your perspective. Portal is 6-9 in games against Portal. SV, conversely, 9-6 in games in this matchup. So we'll see who comes out on top. And do not be surprised if this one goes the distance, because every match these two have played has gone to a decider. But, having said all that, this is the first time these two have met in 1.5 years. It's been a hot minute. The last time they played, February 2024 in CTL Season 24, where SV defeated Portal. Before that, it was June of 2023 again, SV defeating Portal in CTL Season 21. And Portal's victory came in Classic Tetris Gauntlet back in May of 2023. Score update, 167. Make it 190 for SV after the Tetris. 188k for Portal. We are a third of the way to transition. SV on a 570k transition pace. And Portal on a 630k pace, heading towards that level 19 transition. So a long-awaited reunion between these two. If the pattern holds, this one's going to go the distance. But it's not the past that tells us what's going to happen. It's the games that count. So stick around as SV gets a nice little T-spin, and we approach halfway. 261k for SV, 279k for Portal. The lead is just under a Tetris, 0.77 for those of you that like to be precise. And both players having not the cleanest of stacks, nothing that they can't survive, but just not clean, as SV has a dirty center-ish well Tetris ready to go. but waiting for this drought, which is now up to 25 pieces, and a Hey Now on the board. His transition pace is 540k. Portals is about 610k, but both have these dirty center well Tetrises, and they're trying to survive long enough for this drought to end. It's at 26 pieces. Portal gets the Tetris. SV does not. SV still burning, in fact. And Portal with another dirty center well Tetris. Those Tetrises have allowed Portal to maintain the lead and also get the stat cleaned. SV has a kind of hybrid phantom T-piece long bar deal in columns 6, 7, and 8. And it's almost freed up. But Portal is clean and will expand on his lead, 404,000 to 329k. SV at 94 lines, Portal at 92, so just about even in that regard. And again, coming up to 100 lines. Let's update that pace when we get there. But actual scores, 449k for Portal, 356k for SV. He's looking at a 460,000 transition pace. And Portal fighting through that short drought that SV had, now looking at about a 580k transition pace, heading on to level 19. But the lead has grown for Portal. Now over 5 Tetrises, I believe. 5.2 Tetrises, 496 to 382k is the score. SV could get up to 4 more Tetrises. Portal, I believe, could get up to 5, but again, that requires no burning, but I think Portal will have to burn at least a couple of lines. So that will affect that final Tetris count. All right, SV bangs one down, 1 Tetris away from 19, just waiting for the long bar. Portal could get 2 more. And we'll see if the pieces cooperate. Yes, they do. SV transitions 453k into level 19, still down by over 5 Tetrises. Well, 4 after that one. And Portal could get a dirty Tetris, and does. And we'll see what Portal does. See if they want to get that column 9 Tetris. Nope, just burns in at 619,000. About 140,000 point lead. 5.4 Tetris is the advantage for Portal in game number 2. And SV now ahead by about 10 lines in count. So SV playing 10 lines in the future here on level 20 versus 19 for Portal. Now Portal not only getting droughted, but has a J-piece dependency, which is not able to fill, and does survive the 24-piece drought, but the state of the board is not the best for him. And this is going to allow SV, if the long bar shows up, to cut into this lead, which is over 100,000 points. All right, nice. That's a nice little delayed burn there by SV. Great work to open that up, get the long bar, and create an opening for a left well Tetris. The lead now down to just 2 Tetrises and a left well Vits from SV. Major style points there. Love to see it. Now just needs the second long bar for the actual Tetris. 612k, make it 642k for SV, 675k for Portal. And Portal's burning is allowing SV to come back in this one. And the pace as it stands is looking at about a 850k into kill screen for SV. Portal, we may have briefly lost connection, but their Portal is back. Portal's pace is looking at about, if I have this right, just under a max out pace, and SV, if I did my math right, about the same. Nope, not quite the same. All right, Paldas Tetris, rating with a party of 5. Welcome to the Super Show. It's SV and Portal. We're in the first match of the Super Show. Game number 2, and SV's got the 1-0 lead. 806,000 for SV, 869. Hey now for Portal. It might be, and again, at the same time, I'm trying to do it in my head. I have the pace checkpoints and the line count associated with them on my screen, but trying to do big numbers in my head, it's still kind of a work in progress. Especially with players that can really rack up the points like these two can. 913k for SV, 972k for Portal. I know in previous matches, the pace for max out, or not max out, but for kill screen has worked out just fine, so maybe I'm just brain fried. But into kill screen, 957k. Maybe my pace was right after all, because I was saying about 950k for SV. Portal, it has maxed out, 1.041 million. And now Portal with probably, well, 2 more Tetrises, assuming no burns, and Portal getting some nice tucks, but will burn into kill screen at 1.091 million. 1.25 Tetrises is the gap in score between these two. SV now 2 levels into the future on level 31. And building for Tetris still, waiting for the long bar to show up. Remember, he had a 65-piece drought on kill screen last game. Let's hope that doesn't happen again, as SV gets a Tetris, takes back the lead. Now up by about 1/3 of a Tetris, and he's still going. Major aggression from SV on the kill screen. Although it is important to keep in mind that SV is 20 lines ahead in terms of pace. Or not pace, but whatever you want to call it. He's ahead in the line count. But this game is close in terms of score, and pace may end up mattering as we head towards the double kill screen on level 39. And Portal is hanging on to that lead, just barely 1/3 of a Tetris as SV tops out, and Portal takes game number 2. 1.255 million to 1.235 million. Portal notches a heart onto the board, and we move to game number 3. 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And, as they say, what was once a best of 5 is now a best of 3. But, you know, since we're on food chat and Popeyes chat, have you eaten at Popeyes before? What do you get when you go there? Is it good? Or do you just stay far away from Popeyes? And a Vits from Portal to start. We're early on, game number 3. Both players have taken 1 apiece. But that really shouldn't surprise anyone, as mentioned. Games between these two tend to go the distance. So we'll see if that holds true in this one. Or see if we have the first one that these two have played that does not go to a decider. Oh! No Popeyes in Estonia, but they are in the UK. So what is the official tea for dinner verdict on Popeyes? Good stuff or stay the heck away? Says it's all right. I can agree with that. I mean, it is fast food, so you get what you get. So if you're wanting like high quality eating, you're not going to Popeyes, but you need some food, you're hungry in a pinch, it does hit the spot. And some good work by Portal to get out of that dig and get rewarded with a Tetris. Almost 1/3 of the way to transition. And there we are. Looking at about a 390k pace for Portal and about a 480,000 pace for SV. Their actual scores at the moment, SV with the advantage, 177,000 to 161. We'll make it 184. Oh my gosh, you knew it was going to happen. Both players now get an update. Or a Tetris during a score update. So 205k to 184k. It is SV in the lead. And Tea for Dinner telling us about the duality of Tetris. Watching Div 1 kill screen is reminding me to practice 29, but your wrist is reminding you to take it easy. I can't relate quite yet, as I am not in the rolling club. I am still in the DAS Mafia over here. So I have not run into any any bodily discomfort issues due to playing Tetris. But whenever I decide that you can teach an old dog new tricks and roll, then we'll talk. But talking about this game, 348k for SV, 301,000 for Portal, over 75 lines in. And Portal's got kind of a series of tucks going on the right side. We'll see if those can get utilized, maybe not right away, as pieces aren't behaving nicely for Portal right now. And also a drought on top of that, something like, well, that might be old. That might be an old drought reminder, just based on what I'm seeing on Portal's screen, because it's kind of permanently staying at 15. We'll see if we can fix that in the next one. So ignore the drought counter on the right side. It's playing games with us. Now coming up to 100 lines, we'll update that pace once again. About a 510k for SV and about 490 for Portal, so they're fairly close in terms of pace. SV had the lead, but now it's down to about a burn single. But you know what? They're going back and forth. Don't listen to me at all. And as far as actual scores are concerned, 450,000 for SV, 426,000 for Portal, 20 lines away from level 19 transition. 5 Tetrises available for both players before making that switch to 19. We'll see if they can take advantage, because all Tetrises would put them in the mid 500s for a transition. Portal with 3 more to go. SV kind of high up, not too bad, but especially not for a roller. But now gets the Tetris. And Portal has 1 more Tetris in hand before making the switch to 19. SV has 2 more he can get before moving on to the next level. There is for Portal 544k transition, and SV waiting for that last Tetris. And he'll have a pretty solid transition score of 570,000, now on to level 19. And in this game, it's now Portal who's a bit ahead in the line count and also gets a T-spin. Just waiting for the right pieces to get burned and get Tetris ready. And now the lead, 597k for Portal, 576, and a hey now on the board there for SV. So the lead is almost 3 Tetrises now, as Portal gets another one, 2.72 down to 1.72. They're not separated by a whole lot. This game is pretty close. Not quite neck and neck, but in the neighborhood. I don't know, collarbone to collarbone, something like that. They're close. Or I should say they were close until Portal just blew this wide open, getting multiple Tetrises, 707,000 to 614,000. We're on to levels 21 and 22, respectively. And let's see if I can math correctly here. Okay. Looks like Portal is just on max out pace. It's just barely made it. Hey now on the line counter for SV. SV, I think, is at, 930k pace. I think. So, no, you know what? Portal should definitely be on max out pace if SV is at 930. But Portal tops out. The pace may not matter. Both players are heading towards level 29. Well, one of them is. SV has a chase down. Target is 796,000 points. So let's see if SV can get this one and take game number 3. All right, 687 now the score. SV has about 45 lines, 45 lines to kill screen. So I'm not going to say this is line outable, but it may not matter as SV gets a Tetris on to level 26. Again, 796,000. That is the score to get to claim victory in this 3rd game of the match. Meanwhile, Portal is lamenting the play that resulted in the top out on level 24. And SV gets the Tetris, completes the chase down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And now we enter a crucial game number 4. What's going to happen? Is it going to be Portal forcing the decider, as has happened every time these two have played, or is it going to be SV breaking the pattern, getting the 3-1 victory? We will stick around on the edge of our seats to find out for ourselves. As far as the Division 1B standings go, I believe SVU will all but guarantee, not quite, but all but guarantee a spot in the playoffs with a win. I think Portal will be very close to guaranteeing a spot with a win. I don't think neither of them can clinch a playoff spot by winning yet. As ID Kirby is still sitting there at 1-3 and could get another win to make things interesting. But they will basically have all but clinched a playoff spot if whoever gets the victory today. And about 30 lines in, 103,000 for Portal, 123,000 for SV. Still pretty close, less than a Tetris apart for both of these players. All right. And now we've got a drought. This one is 19 pieces. Not too bad considering what we've seen already in this matchup. But still, as I've said, calling a drought a small drought is kind of like calling a surgery a minor surgery. Is any surgery really minor? I guess you could make the same parallel to a drought. Is any drought small? None of them are desirable by any means. Now a third of the way to transition. Both players sitting at about 520 to 530k level 19 paces. But it is SV who's going to have to do a little bit of burning, and this will afford Portal the opportunity to take the lead and maybe even expand on it if Portal can continue to get Tetrises while SV is burning about 50 lines in. Speaking of expanding the lead, there is the Tetris, but SV getting a dirty center well Tetris. Working hard to clear up that stack. Working to get past halfway to transition. Portal's board nice and clean. SV's board also looking pretty good now. So both players through the worst of it. 530k pace for Portal as he gets another Tetris. And SV looking at about a 420k transition pace. Now, the actual scores, as we're about 75 lines in, 262k for SV, 315k for Portal, who again is sitting there with a 2.3 Tetris lead, and needs this one to force a decider. Of course, as we all know, a decider means we need more points. A decider on the CTL Superstream means that unfortunately we don't get the theme song for We Need More Points, so you'll just have to play it in your head should we encounter a game number 5. Alright, and there is Portal with the Tetris. Portal's board looking a little tired. Not quite PowerPoint slideshow frame rate, but still coming in a little slow, but once it recovers, you'll see the pieces get into place a little faster and try and get back up to speed. But the game is still going, so we will keep watching and commentating. 317k for SV, 413k for Portal, make it 435k as both players coming up to 100 lines. Portal's looking at about a 440,000 transition pace. SV's looking at about a 420k transition pace. All right. About 5 Tetrises that both players can get, assuming minimal to no burning. We'll see if they can make that happen. looks like some burning up top. We've got some droughts happening. That one was at the lower end of the drought spectrum, about 14 pieces. But it's hurting their efficiency a bit, as they weren't able to maximize their Tetrises, as SV transitions at a 465,000. Portal with one more Tetris available, and those long bars will make it happen. 526k transition for Portal into level 19, and they'll have to set up for the dirty column 3 Tetris and get it. SV going for the more conventional right well setup. And now just waiting for that long bar to show up. Where is the long bar? There it is, right at the start of the drought counter. Tetris for SV, followed by one for Portal, and one for SV, and it's Tetrises for all. You get a Tetris, you get a Tetris, and you get a Tetris. Everyone's getting Tetrises right now. And that barrage of Tetrises has resulted in the gap closing momentarily. It was down to under a Tetris, and that was a nifty little T-spin tuck there for SV to prevent that stack from turning into an absolute mess there in rows 1 and 2. And now let's see where we are at. We are on level 22 for both players. Looking like about a 940k pace for SV. And about a 960k pace for Portal heading into kill screen, assuming that they maintain the same Tetris rates that they're going at right now. But both boards starting to get up there, although SV is clean. Portal's in a bit of trouble. We'll see if Portal can get out of this. We are rapidly tapping so we can view the next slide in this PowerPoint presentation. As things coming in a little choppy, but as it stands, SV is at 685,000, Portal at 662,000. And a dirty center well Tetris for SV. And given the fact that Portal has gotten up, I'm assuming Portal has topped out, but the Nestrus Champs board is not cooperating. I guess what I would say is, Portal, I'm assuming you have topped out. If you're able to put your score in the chat, again, I don't want to assume, but I'm assuming SV has already done enough to claim victory, but I want to get some confirmation before that. So SV, keep on playing. In all likelihood, this is a Mullen effort, because I don't think Portal got enough to get ya. Yeah, okay, it is official. SV gets the victory. Take your victory lap. Mullen this one out, SV. 10 lines to kill screen at 918,000. And we'll put that third heart on the board to make it official. As SV takes this one 3-1, and well, he is mullening this one out going into kill screen. Top out score lines, I cannot see it on my screen, but I'm going to guess it was around 670,000 and probably about 189 lines. Portal, please confirm for me if you can, because I cannot see it on my screen. All right, and SV well into kill screen on level 31. 1.14 million is the score at the moment. And the match is being reported. Whoops. Well, it'll be reported if I could copy-paste correctly. There we go. And it is in the books. So SV still going on level 34. Our next matchup is, I believe it is Doodle and Curie. So Doodle, Curie are getting themselves ready. And once this is done and we update the standings and everything, we'll get that next one going very, very shortly. But now 1.38 million on level 36. Again, SV has won. This is a Mullen effort. Going for the stats, going for the points, going for the double kill screen. 20 lines away from level 39. This board is still looking snazzy. As SV now waiting for that long bar. Might have been an unintentional hang there of the L piece, but he's getting it cleaned out. And now, possibly two more, probably more like one more Tetris with all this burning before the double kill screen. But a solid 1.5+ million effort. He's going for the column 9 Tetris. Gets it. Could maybe get one more. Oh, selling out for it. Cannot get the long bar over, but still a great finish from SV. 1.553 million in a Mullen effort on level 38. He wins the game and the match. On down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And the game is afoot. And Neko, just starting right off with some aura farming, gets the Vits at the very beginning. I don't know if that was planned, but man, did he make it look good. And a simul Tetris, so major style points, major aura farming to start off. Both players going for it early. Now, as you all know, when I'm doing my streams, I like to get to know the players both in Tetris and out of Tetris and share some amazing lore with you all about the people you're seeing on the screen. So we're doing that today. First, we're going to get to know our competitor on the right, Neko. And today I learned it is pronounced Neko. So there you go. Even Toast is learning things. You can teach an old dog new tricks. So Neko is studying informatics, and I've heard the word, but as far as what the heck it means, no idea. It is the study of information structure and how it's processed using technology to solve problems and improve human experience. That is the answer Google gives me. Now, as far as Neko's accolades, I can mention that he competed in the Russian Esports Championship, so you're going to get a bit of lore here before the 1/3 pace marker. The Russian Esports Championship is not Classic Tetris Russia. It's just the Russian Federation of Esports, and they decided to include Tetris in their tournament. Well, obviously because it's a Russian game. But anyway, Neko goes on to say that there was no good version of Tetris from a Russian developer, so they chose a terrible version from 2022, and he won it. So there you go. Now we're a third of the way to transition, and these are some great paces. We've got a 690k pace from Neko, your first hey now of the match, and you've got I think that was a 720,000 pace from Cole, if I've done my math right. That is bonkers. So we'll see if those numbers hold true as we make our way towards level 19 and beyond. Now, in terms of online competition, Neko has competed in Classic Tetris Monthly, competed in Classic Tetris League. According to Neko, I lost everything. Pro tip, don't go to Vegas with that prognostication. Now, Neko has also gotten to glitched colors, and also has done a sub-16 Tetrio sprint, so that's pretty amazing. Now, we've got a drought here coming up to halfway. I'm watching Neko's side. This is a 29-piece drought, and we're now halfway to transition. So Cole looking at about a 610k pace. Neko, 680,000 for that transition pace. And another hey now. That's number 2 for you. And another drought. 21 pieces and counting. A struggle seed to start. So about 21-piece drought for these players. So the seed not wanting to cooperate. But these players, good enough that they can overcome crazy droughts like you might see here today. Now, in terms of gaming outside of Tetris, I can tell you Neko is into CS. I'm going to assume that means Counter-Strike. That's what I've always known it as. And Minecraft. The Minecraft to Tetris pipeline is very strong. Lots of players in my encounters are big Minecraft fans, so you're not alone in that community, Neko. Now we're coming up to the turn here. That's 100 lines cleared. Neko is there, as is Cole. And as far as their transitions, Neko's looking at maybe about 600,000, Cole at about 590k, so they're both really close. If you want to call it neck and neck, I'm not going to be one to judge. You can call it neck and neck if you want, but as it stands, Neko is up by 33,000 points, little more than a Tetris. In fact, 1.48 Tetrises for those of you keeping score at home. Now 20 lines away from transition, a little less than that, we can start to get an idea of what these final scores heading into level 19 might be. Both players over 500,000, 529k for Cole, 542k for Neko, and another drought has made an appearance. It's a smaller one, 16 pieces. And we're looking at 2 more Tetrises for Cole, and same for Neko. They've got some burns to give as well, but if they're able to get all Tetrises, Cole's probably looking at about just over a 600,000 transition, and same for Neko. But a 20-piece drought has appeared. A wild 20-piece drought has shown up. And Neko needs that burn on the left. Cole transitions at 582k, a rough drought into level 19. And Neko burns as well, 562,000. He's up pretty high. Let's see if he can get out of this. Our focus shifts to his side of the board. Gets the Tetris, gets that long bar over, gets another one. And we're both over 600k. 634k for Cole, 615k for Neko. The lead under a Tetris. So, fairly close, although now it's over a Tetris because, of course, someone's going to get a Tetris while I give a score update. Why the heck not? Now, YN playing Tetris is rooting for the player with ball knowledge. So, I guess the question is, who has the most ball knowledge out of these two players? I do not know their ball knowledge, but I know their Tetris knowledge, and I know their Tetris scores, both over 700,000, heading towards the kill screen. And actually, I can give a kill screen pace update here. Looks like Neko's looking at about a 1.1 million pace towards kill screen, so we'll see if that holds true. Cole is there as well, and he's looking at a 1.17 million heading into kill screen. Sorry, folks, my math on those higher pace numbers is not quite as quick as it is on my transition calculations. I'm doing it all in my head, but you still have the numbers. 848k for Neko, 860k for Cole, about a 12,000 point separation, 2/3 of a Tetris, and we're on level 24 here. Both players just making it look really easy. Still building for Tetris, is still playing sufficiently aggro, and both currently on max out pace as we head on a collision course for 29 and beyond. Neko's a little bit up high, 16-piece drought, survives it easily with the Tetris, both over 900,000. Neko is about 5 lines in the future, but that may vary depending on who gets Tetrises when. And another drought, 18 pieces and counting. We're over 20. Where is this long bar? 28 pieces, and Neko survives that with minimal burning and a Tetris. Cole now going through that same 28-piece drought, and he'll be Tetris ready. Maybe, maybe not. Has to put some weight on it and can't use it for a Tetris, and that has actually allowed Neko to take the lead. But Neko's got some burning to do, and it's going to allow Cole to come back. Both players have maxed out. Double max out on the board. Get your cowbells out. And we're only a few lines from the kill screen now. Looks like Cole could get 2 more Tetrises. Neko can get 1 more, and he does. Kill screen at 1.049 million. Cole still has a Tetris to give before hitting level 29. And now the race is on the right side of the screen. Cole waiting for that 1 more Tetris. He just burns in. Actually, no, he's got a burn to give. My mistake. And he'll burn in anyway, 1.156 million, that 3 Tetris lead on the kill screen for Cole. Both players on to level 30. And Neko gets the Tetris, but he's got 1 burn to do. Nothing too bad to worry about, especially for a roller on the kill screen. But he can't get the first 5 tap, does get the second one though. Cole still looking clean, gets a triple. Just playing it relatively safe, already over 1.2 million, leading by a couple of